Good morning.
Welcome to our Road and Shop Committee meeting of Wednesday, February the 7th, 2024. Mr. Bilker, we have the roll call.
Mr. I don't remember who's on here. Just go ahead and call it.
Mr. Byrd,
Here.
Mr. Taylor,
Here.
Mr. Garcia, and Mr. Spoboto.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have 3 members of the committee present.
All right. We'll stand for prayer and Byrd do the pledge for us. And I'll say a short prayer if y'all don't mind. Father, we thank you for this day and your many blessings. We ask for your guidance through this meeting for the parish, for our road crews. Father, we pray for peace. We thank the people, law enforcement agents, the healthcare system, the people that protect us as we live our daily lives. Father, I'd like to send a special prayer to the Pickett family who lost their son this morning in an accident. Be with them and comfort them. We do this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was at the Gulf station and a lady started crying and got up. I don't know if it was her son or what she knew him or what.
That's Billy Pickett's grandson.
Oh, man. I walked that walk.
Do we need to amend the agenda? Do we have any amendments? Moving on, do I have a motion? We adopt the agenda.
Make that motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Byrd,
Second.
second by Bruce, or Mr. Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries 3-1. All right. Public comments?
I have one. I'm going to thank Bobby and Matt and them for the work they've done this past week. As I pulled in here, Johnny Jenkins called and really bragged on the Big End Ranch Road.
Good.
I had one to brag on Little League, the work we've done on it this week.
We got a loan of grader to help out Ward 4. Ward 4 is down a grader, so thanks for loaning us a grader.
Okay, y'all got it?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Well, you know, guys, that's what it's all about, helping each other when you can. And, you know, it don't matter, the old saying, it don't matter who's taking the ball out or who's shooting, we all on the same team. So.
And I guess I don't say things like this enough, but it is kind of a daily thing. I mean, not every day, but it's often enough that one ward helps out another. Truthfully, unless it comes to paying a bill or accounting for material or something like that, we're Sabine Parish. I don't really think about wards. You know, we've got Ward 8 the other day was over here in Ward 1 working on the road. Then we slipped down into Ward 4 working on the road. Ward 8's now today up at dump site helping Barry with a gate, a little track hole holding the gate while Barry replaces rollers on the gate. You know, it's Sabine Parish. You know, we all helping out each other.
All right, moving on to discuss accepting Teeter Road into the parish road system. That would be Ward 5, Road District 15. Mr. Hughes, you have some information on that?
Yeah, so we got a request from an individual, Mr. Rupert Sapoto, about he had a road that he'd like to be considered to become a parish road. And we have whenever anything like this comes up, it's a chance to learn something new, kind of research it before records on it. I didn't know, sitting in the office, I didn't know where he was talking about. So I kind of pulled everything, looked at property records. I went out there and met with them and showed me where it was. And I guess I should have made copies for everybody, but I wrote them a letter back, and I'll read to you what my letter says. It says, appreciate your time yesterday and like off the following based on our discussion. The parish maintained portion of Teeter Road ends roughly at the curve where your access road begins. The access road in question is not part of the parish maintained road, therefore cannot be maintained / worked by the parish. There is an avenue for a private road to be accepted by the parish. This would include the road being brought up to minimum standards, which basically include grading the road, adding minimum amount of rock, providing drainage. Once a request for acceptance has been made, we do an additional inspection and assume the road met standards, it would be presented to the jury for additional acceptance. This would begin a 2-year clock where you would maintain the road for that period. At the end of the 2-year maintenance period, we would perform a reinspection. Assuming the road conditions still met standards, it would be presented to the jury for final acceptance into the parish maintenance system as a parish maintained road, should the jury approve that acceptance then. If this is something you're interested in, we'd be happy to work with you and provide any further information needed. Well, so then,
How long is that road?
1,100 feet, I think 1,100 feet. That's what we got it down as. I think about that, just say down 1,100 feet. And, so I got a picture of it, and I can pass around, everybody, you can look at it.
How many houses does it serve?
There are no houses down there. It's, so, not to answer your question, I went back up and give some more information. So after that, it's brought to this room because, there was a statement made that it was at one time before the lake was here, correct me if anybody knows any more, correct me if I'm wrong, but before the lake was here, that was a road that went across and tied into Hess. You remember?
Yes.
Hess. And so we're here to discuss if that's a factor to consider and present it to the jury for consideration for acceptance.
Just my opinion. I mean, that's not, like I said, it's just my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of roads that used to go through that don't go through. You know, I guess our main concern here is to see if it meets the criteria of being a public road, as our criteria is set.
And it does not.
So,
Does it need any?
Yes.
I mean, we have a criteria. There's been, over the years, there's been multiple roads that have not been accepted into the system because it didn't meet the criteria. Now, if we want to tweak our criteria somewhat, that would be, an option, I guess, but as far as I know, our criteria's been here for 12, since I've been here 12 years, we've had that same criteria. And I hate it. There's one thing I hate to do is tell people, no, I wish we could fix a lot of roads and bring a lot of roads into the system. But, that's just, you don't meet the criteria. And if you have policy and you don't go by your policy, then, that's just my thoughts. And I don't know this guy. I know about where it's at, but I don't know him. And I hate it for him.
Nice people. So this is nothing personal. They're very fine people.
So say if you did at 1,100 feet, so is there multiple landowners there that would benefit from this road being public?
There's two, Ricky Evans and then, but the truth of it is, it's a dirt trail into the woods. And
So it's gotta be cleared and everything.
You
According
can
to
see what
that.
it is. If it rains, it's mud. And, we would have to build a road.
But you'd have to build a base.
So, yeah, we would have to build a road.
It's-
So when it first came to me, I go back to thinking of other examples that have come up. So, years ago, we had a similar thing, not the same condition of the road, but if we go down Little Flock, and Little Flock goes past, past church, comes to the dead end, if we turn right, we go down, that becomes Loch Ness. Well, Loch Ness used to go before Lake was there, and it went up and went across and turned into Ward 56. Well, now it goes down, and at one time it was an asphalt road, and it's remnants of an asphalt road now, but it goes down, it's not for boat launches. There's property owners over there, and they wanted us to, accept that, because it used to go. Well, Loch Ness ends at a point, and that becomes private. They wanted us at one point to go down there, and it's a similar thing. It's a road that used to go through, but it doesn't anymore. And when the lake came up, there were a lot of areas that were lost. But so that was kind of the thing. And there were many of those out there that at one time did, but happened for when the lake come in, late 60s.
Right.
So anyway,
My thoughts are is that it don't benefit no homes.
well, again, like Kevin said, we have a criteria list, and I have that if anybody cares to look at it, and it does not meet.
Any of that.
I'm just trying to provide y'all
There's the
information
answer.
because I was asked to bring it.
Yeah.
Somebody's trying to get a log grove.
And
so they can
also-
sell timber.
And also, just like I said, this is my opinion. Also, when we come across issues like this or concerns, it's always best to get the juror that represents that area, since that's his area, and get his take on it. So what was his, did you talk to him about this?
Who is that juror?
Eric,
Yeah, it's gonna be Eric.
kind of about where we're at right now.
Okay.
That's a good point, Cable.
All right, so we don't have to take no
Mhm.
action on this.
So,
Okay.
so this,
You're-
so we will not present this to the full jury.
It does. And like I said, man, that's one thing I do is hate telling them no, but I mean, if you don't meet the criteria, it ain't,
And like you said, we'd be doing a bunch of them.
And then on top of that, in order to, your road has to be up to our standards, even if we want to put it on the book. So there's another process that you go through than just saying, okay, it's public.
That's 2 year process.
Right. All right, moving on to the next item, would be discussed accepting Crepe Myrtle into the parish road system, Ward 5, Road District 15. That's also Eric's district. And I had a phone call on this road. And as long as I can remember, as a juror and as just a person, that there were multiple homes down there, and that, I don't see why, it never was on the books, but I guess it was an oversight for,
Since I've been here, we come to these things often, that a road's been a parish. We've worked this road. I always drive by it. I always thought it was, but we've never had a reason to look on the books to see. It's a parish road. It's been maintained as a parish road. There's multiple residents on there, landowners. There's parish rock on that road. There's been parish rock on that road. It's a parish road that just, for some reason, hadn't been on the books. It meets, of course, it meets all the criteria. We're just trying to get it right and get it on our books. And this is the process to do that.
So y'all have any,
It too is an Eric's.
yeah, that's an Eric's. Y'all got any further discussion on, adding this to our road list? Any other discussions on it?
I'll make a
I
motion.
make a
to accept
motion, we add it.
I got a motion by Bruce, and a second by Mr. Byrd, to make the recommendation to add. Okay. All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, item 10 is gonna be to discuss the pub mill site.
It's on here to kind of get a direction, begin a direction, begin a plan, begin a group discussion or however we're gonna do this. Because we've got a pub mill coming in here soon. we've talked about, I've heard conversation about, we're gonna build a pad, we're gonna build a building, you know, and so we need to begin a conversation of what size pad we're gonna build, what size building, what we're gonna do.
So did you get, you got the specs on the layout structure of the pub?
equipment.
Yeah, on that.
I blew it up big.
Footings or a base for it to sit on, that's what you're talking about, pad.
And I know there's, I mean, I've
So,
heard within the.
so are you gonna build like footings to set it on, or are you gonna actually build a pad?
That's the purpose of this conversation. You know, I'm just saying, I've heard different, talk from different.
What's
groups.
it, what does it weigh? The pug mill,
I can't tell you off the top of my head. I'll find out.
30, 40?
Well, I would like to recommend that. And I think we may have covered this already. So Pete has a location there, an area for us to set up,
Yes.
okay? One of the things that would be one of my concerns is to make sure that we're close enough to our power source that we're gonna need. We don't wanna go set up way in the back. If we can set, the closer we can set up to the front, the better off we're gonna be. So would you rather, like for the road shop committee and you and Pete all work together and go out there and get us a layout, get different from the specs you got and from, you know, the information we get to come up with what we're gonna do, how big it's gonna be, how it's gonna be designed, because the layout of it, you know, once you get your pug mill in, you know, we gotta be thinking about how your layout's gonna be, how we're gonna operate, how we're gonna get the trucks in and out without interfering with those
Well,
people.
all of that, and again, I've just heard talk from different jurors at different times. Well, we're gonna build a cover for it. We're gonna build a cover to cover the equipment, then we're gonna build a cover to cover the equipment and the material. Then we're gonna build a cover big enough to cover the equipment, material, and all the stockpile sand. Brother, we fixed to build an arena.
Yeah, I think,
So, and also my thought is this, we had a 4 to 6 month delivery time. So let's just say it's 6, that'll be middle of the year.
Right.
Well, we're in February now, and we've got to decide what we're gonna do, bid it, get it built, you know, that's some time too.
Just me, I would think that we really need to concentrate on the pug mill and the cover itself right now. And I'm gonna call it off season. And during the off season where we're not mixing anything, which, you know, then we'll go come back and look at put some type of covers or sheds to stock it under. I imagine the first run we get up, the first time we start running it, it ain't gonna be much left in no stockpile.
Right.
And we gonna use up every bit we can get.
I don't see
Especially,
covering the stockpile.
you know, and then, you know, cause you know, well, we know by these sheds out here to the road office, you're talking about a lot of money, but then you gotta have a design for it, you know?
Yep.
So I think, me personally, I think financially, we should just concentrate on the pug mill and the shed. Financially,
Start out with.
Covering the equipment only,
the mill.
the mill itself, whatever component,
not the material we make.
no.
Yes.
And we'll come back next year. I'm calling it the off season. We ain't mixing, and we'll do something there. And then also it may end up helping us get some type of base out there where this stuff is laying, because you're not gonna be able to get every bit of it up. You're gonna end up making you a pad out there.
We're gonna lose some.
Yeah.
And two, I think that's the best idea. I'm gonna give you an example. The Toledo Town dump site. It's a nice place, but I wish now it was laid out.
Could have been
You
playing a
know,
bit different.
so by doing it this way, we'll learn what's useful and what works best for us, you know.
Well, I thought the shed for the material wasn't for the processed material, but for the sand, where it didn't get saturated. That's what I thought the shed was for the material. I didn't know y'all was trying to cover the process. It shouldn't have.
Well, it could be
This-
either way.
yeah.
I mean, you could use it for the dried. If you know you're gonna have a good run, you can stockpile you some sand under there in case rain comes and you know you're gonna, either way. I mean, it just be a shed and then, you
I
can,
s- I'm like, you get the put bail in, get it covered,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, because I mean, we got to
then
protect
do
our
the
investment.
shed for the dry material.
Get it covered, get good anchors.
I don't
That
see where the
rotation is
finish,
gonna make that machine walk.
I don't see where the finish would need it
I
covered.
don't need it.
No.
Are we gonna put it on the road?
It's gonna be going in the truck 90% of the time when it's
But
coming.
what I'm
out.
saying, the finished material that you have, say we mix it this summer, what finished material you have there, you're gonna end up building like
Good
some
pad.
part of a pad there. And that'd be something, if you're just gonna stock it, you don't have to have no concrete in there.
Right.
You can just, you can put your dry sand there, or you can put whatever you want to put there. You just have, you'll have you something to cover it.
I agree.
That's just my thoughts.
So how do we wanna do this? Do we wanna put together a couple of people, a couple of jurors, something that we're gonna do it in this room or not?
Well, we need to get with Pete out there at the landfill.
Pete's ready.
Okay.
Whenever we decide what size we wanna build.
I think it's something that, the committee, I imagine Mr. Bird would like to, could be involved in. I know myself, I would. Mr. Taylor, I imagine, and Eric also. So I just say the whole committee with you and Pete, let's just all work together and
We'll talk about it today. Or we gonna-
whenever, well, yeah, we can talk about it today. I mean, we got to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Roll this out.
Well, you had the information the whole time, didn't you?
Well, I didn't know what we were gonna do.
Here, put something on it. I'm gonna let it blow away.
But it rocks are good for something.
Put that rock over there.
Here, get your hand.
We'll use that on mine. Just,
So there's here's the width of it. And there's the length of it. Now there's the stacker that's gonna throw a material and stockpile it.
and I might be wrong, but this is the part we need to cover. This is the actual meal, right?
Mhm.
And this is just the auger running it out to drop it to another
And
auger.
this is just a conveyor bringing it up to the auger. Here's the pug mill itself. So this would need to be covered as well. This is the whole thing. This is a fixed unit right here. This unit is fixed.
So
It's
the
on skids.
hopper and the mill together,
So 50
yeah,
feet.
No, yeah, 50 feet,
This is one. unit.
50.
about
So you say 24. You're looking at a 24 by 50
Just to root it.
area that you're gonna have to have. So are we gonna have, your thoughts on that? The one y'all looked at, it was a solid concrete pad under there all the way through.
It was.
Concrete from here to here?
Solid pad.
But it was a facility, Doc. Everything was concrete. It was concrete, the
Yeah.
whole place. Yeah. And that's another a big chunk.
If the feeder bin is where you're gonna load it at, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, hey, it's gotta be tall enough for the bucket.
Yeah.
For a loader to load it.
Oh, that's a lot of concrete in it.
Lots of concrete.
What if, K-Wall,
Yes,
you put bases,
yes and no.
uh,
There's supposed to be one.
to bolt everything to on concrete? I wouldn't say all of this had to have concrete. It's just a conveyor belt going over it. See what I'm saying? And then this here needs a concrete and footings. But that distance between that hopper and that mill,
Well, it's a skid mounted unit, so you know what I mean? The whole bottom is gonna be stable on one stable surface. Otherwise, you're gonna have,
that's gotta be.
two ends stable and nothing in the middle holding that up.
So what was the width on that? 24 feet, 22 feet?
21.11.
So your unit is 22 feet wide. And it's 48 feet long.
And how tall is
and
it?
it's on
Bruce?
skids. They gonna bring it in
hoppers?
all one piece, and then your
Uh,
conveyor and the
Well, it's 12 foot
is
wide, 12
different
foot
piece.
high.
So you gonna be
you
able to
gonna have
move
to-
it.
So
Have
we need to
enough
have.
room.
we need to-
Yeah,
my
Boy,
thought
most
is
of them do it.
We
that's
need
the
to
way
have
that
a
would look
little
better.
bit longer, because that stacker is gonna
Move what?
move. Just throw your pile here, throw your pile here. So we need to have something longer, you know what I mean? A little bit longer than that, a little bit longer than 50 feet, whatever it is, 47.
Well, if you're doing this, you talking about this, radial stacking
What about the
conveyor,
stacker there?
then you need 47 or say 48 feet plus
Yeah.
whatever this is.
Well, maybe to this point.
Mm-hmm. See, what I was saying is put your footers here under this, pour you a footer under this. This don't have to be, right? A footer under here, and then you could put your,
But all
24,
I'm saying is
2 foot
this,
wide.
this, and this. This is all one unit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if you got these on grade and this on grade,
Mm-hmm.
then this could be open, because material sooner or later is gonna
Gonna
fill
fit.
it up.
Yep.
And you save all that concrete. So that'd give you, just say you done it 12 feet and you put your footings in there and you done this one the same way and this one.
Roughly, at those hoppers, how many tons could you put in the hopper roughly? Just guessing. 16, say a truckload, 16 tons?
No,
No,
8 tons?
no.
I want to say two, but for some reason, my mind, it's in the specs. I've got it in the specs. I just can't tell off the top of my head. But I want to tell you it's more. I find it hard to believe it's more, but I think it's two.
Well, they just say 4 tons. Say you got 4 tons in your hopper going in, then you got running your conveyor, and then you mixing up another 4 tons. You roughly got, let's say, and then say you got 10 tons of material on that pad at one time. You know what I'm saying?
That's 40,000 pounds.
So I'm just looking at what the pad needs to be,
I understand.
the
What it
base
is.
of it, what it really needs to be. Because your weight is not just on each end, because it's running it from there up that belt to the next one. So your weight's all the way across, actually.
You know,
But I
if you,
see what you said.
if you go to those
Yeah,
mills,
just do the bug-
like the big lot over at, say, at Campty, they have a concrete runner that this runs on. I don't know how wide it is, but it can make that horseshoe,
Yeah,
and it's not all concrete.
yeah. It's just where the wheel's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't understand see, it's got a feeder bin and 2 more feeder bins.
One's for the sand, one's for the aggregate you mix with it, I think. And I may be wrong.
But it's showing 3 different ones. One's 8.6, 2 of them's 12'4".
What?
That's a 3 bin deal.
So you got 2 bins and a feeder bin.
No, this is a view this way. That's a view that way. One bin, 2 bin.
Okay,
It's a different view.
okay. So these 2 actually are set here.
Yes, there's one here and one on
The
the
sand
side.
goes in these,
Well, we have it where one could be sand, one could be
rock.
rock.
Where's the oil go into that?
The oil goes in it up here.
Okay.
There's a feeder right here. Barry asked a minute ago about do we have a tank and oil tank. Right. So Ross told me the other day that he has located a tank that's going to sit on the ground. They'll feed into that tank. That tank pumps into the pump. I said, is it a cost to us, or are you going to see that cost? Because he picked it up somewhere. Or he said he made a deal to pick it up.
What's that oil tank out there at the,
It's in the works. We just got our part in the other day. Thank you for that. We got our part in the other day. And we're trying to put that back to use. We're fixing to test it and see if we can get it back running.
for this?
No,
Oh,
Those,
that elevated tank at
Yeah.
4 yards.
and
it ain't big enough to hold a lot of oil
our intentions,
10,000 gallons.
our intentions on that thing, since it was a heated tank deal, is some of these roads, which I have some in my district and Bird has some in his district. And that's the only district I can really talk about, because I don't know about the rest of them, but I have some roads that were oil sand roads, and after about, I'm gonna say 5 years or so, you start finding your weak spots, and we doing a road now. We fixing the weak spots on it and getting them settled in. It had, I'm gonna guess the road probably a mile. It had 5 weak spots in it. It had oil field traffic on it. But our intentions were the material that's on that road. If you go in and grind that road up, you just leave it, that oil comes back that's under there. So our intentions with this tank is that we purchased an oil truck. And so what you do is you go in and you grind the road up, and you come in with the oil truck, you put a little oil on it, and then you lay it all back down in place. And you don't have to haul material. Your material's there. You're giving it another life, and it'll last you further on down.
That's what you're supposed to do with that oil sand anyway. Isn't it?
Yes.
That's what you're talking about. He's talking about old.
That's oil sand.
Yeah.
He's talking about old existing oil sand.
Mhm.
And we bought,
Just windrow your material to the side, put your oil
No,
down.
no, you don't even windrow it.
Oh.
You grind it and go behind it in the truck, and you lay it in place.
and we bought a tiller. We went up, Sabine Parish has a little program like this where they do their road. And we've already got a tiller that goes behind a tractor, and it'll till that, it'll till it up, mix that oil in with the ground material.
I witnessed, me personally, like I said, I'm not a road professional by no means, but I have seen different processes that's done. The windrowing works good, but you have to spend a lot of time on the machine flipping it, playing with it, to where on Red Oak Road, years back, that road dried out, fell apart. Madden come in with a setup, and that's all they done was grind that road, and they had a truck there hooked onto the machine, and they went through there, and they just put that oil on it, and they come back, till it in, and after a while you'll learn it. I call it crawl. When that material starts kind of crawling a little bit, but then it's ready. But if it don't crawl, but then it ain't got enough oil in it. So then they come back through and they run another pass on it, and then they laid it all back down, and it was good to go. So it saves a lot of material hauling, a lot of time. And if you take a road, say for instance, I talked with Bobby down on the south end. He said there's a lot of roads down there that have nothing but sand in it. Well, that's the ideal thing to do to those roads. Put the oil to them, lay them back down. Next year, if you see that they still too dry, go back in and grind it up, oil it again.
You don't have to grind them very deep.
No, you cut them that deep. 2 or 3 inches deep, and when you cut it, it levels it all back out.
Hey, if it don't bleed, it ain't enough oil.
Yeah, and they say, well, man, don't put too much oil. It's going to bleed. It's going to bleed. Been here 12 years and never seen one bleed.
Man, you come to Shady Hill. They come down there, 2 years ago? And it was 28 degrees. And they windrowed the mess out to the side and went down through there with a tanker, and it clappered.
Oh, yeah.
We every vehicle we got, which my wife don't understand, slow down. Every vehicle's got tar on the roof of it.
28 degrees? They shouldn't have been out there.
Can't do that.
They shouldn't have been there.
That's why we got paid.
But anyway, so let's plan to let's set a time up to go meet with Pete and get us something drawn up, find some concrete people, get that lined up. We're gonna have to bid that out, Mr. Bill.
No, that's Public Works.
Okay.
So have we decided if we're pouring that whole length or?
I would recommend pouring the whole length because the weight, your hopper's gonna be full, your belt's gonna be full, and your mixer's gonna be full. So you're gonna be having weight all the way. I'm scared if we don't do the middle, but then what weight's in the middle might do this. Because you're gonna have weight here that's gonna be stabilized, weight here to stabilize, but that in the middle.
You're gonna put a footing under that middle. So if you just put a footing, a big heavy footing here and here, then that'll support that. But that's just a thought. I'm not trying to change.
Yeah.
And then you pour these big with big footings,
Okay, well, all
Big
we're gonna have
footing,
to either get architect, engineer, or somebody to design this slab. I don't think you can just go hire a Joe Blow finisher out there and put him in and let him decide what kind of, footings and what kind of iron and what kind of steel and what kind of rebar you're gonna put into this thing. Uh, And I'm sure we can get some help from the plug fill manufacturer
Right.
on what's involved in that, but
Those,
you can't just go
you
out
got
and
the
put.
specs on that, don't you?
They're not, they don't have any input on what we
said
should set it on. They can give us information about their system, but they don't have much information on, he said, we don't get into that. We can tell you what our machine is, we can tell you any weight, we can tell you any of that, but, we're not telling you how to build your slab.
Well, my thoughts are that if all this is 6 or 8 inches of concrete, whatever, I mean, I don't know how thick you wanted to put it, but if you put a 2 foot wide, 2 foot thick footing under everything, you concrete all up under this. I'm not saying you concrete under this,
That's not.
and you're putting a big thick footing, because this out here is not giving this any support. And the same thing with this, you just need that control.
You've got to have the design of the skid,
That's what I'm
so
talking
you know
about.
where
We
the
got-
runners are and you know where
don't-
everything is, because that's where your weight is,
Mhm.
and that's where your footing's gotta be. So we're gonna have to get the design of the skid that it's coming up.
That's what
We
I'm,
got that.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's what you need.
We just covered the skid part.
Yeah, we got that right there. Yeah.
Yeah, we just gonna cover the skid part, that the weight of the unit's gonna be sitting on.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not worried about nothing off to the side. I'm
Yeah, I
talking
thought
about,
you was talking about right, all that in there. But
but the concrete needs to come from that hopper down the conveyor belt, cause your skids is running there, cause that's all part of the same thing, right?
Are you talking about?
We talk about two different things, because
125 by 50-foot slab.
this ain't a skid, this is a couple of legs coming down, and if that's where all the weight is, then that's different than it coming in on I-beams as a skid and setting into place and it disperses all the way.
Coming in on skids.
so you could just build a big support under there, here. You gotta have it here too. And then you
Okay, well,
need
are
that
you talking about pouring this? Are you talking about pouring one solid slab?
one solid slab.
One solid slab, wherever the skid is,
I understand.
wherever your skid is, if it's on 4 arms, 5 arms, 2 beams, or whatever, you support those beams. That's what I'm talking about. But if your beams don't have but this much, say a beam here, I'm just gonna say if it's a beam here and a beam here, well, you don't want to pour a lead beam here and a lead beam there. I'd pour it in the middle too, because just give it solid. If you pour this beam here and this one here and this one here, give you there you are. So that one whole pad is going to stay together before 2 separate beams are going to stay together. I see you're talking about kind of like a mobile home. They set up a mobile home. They got runners. on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
big beefy runners.
Yeah.
2 foot wide, 2 foot deep.
I don't know if
Lots of steel.
I'd be scared of it 2 foot wide.
I'd be scared 2 foot deep.
Because another thing, if it's all one solid one, the vibration of that machine, not only I'm talking about the weight plus the vibration of it. And I said I don't even know if it vibrates or what it does.
It didn't look
But
like
to me,
vibrate.
one solid piece is going to be better than 2 separate pieces or 3 separate pieces. That's just my thoughts. And it's going to take more than 6 inches of concrete for that.
Uh-huh.
You're going to have to do some pilings in there. They're going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Wherever your weight's at, it's going to have to be pilings in there. Then pour your slab. You know what pipe? Go down, go on down,
I understand the system.
go on down. So that was just, I built a few things before
So we,
in my days, but I ain't the best. I ain't no engineer, but I know.
so generally speaking, we know what pad layout we need to build. So we can get started on that. So what group, does anyone have any interest to be involved in going over there and walking through a layout.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
Okay. Then, when could we do that?
As soon as you can get it scheduled that fit our schedules, we'll go
Schedule
with it.
that now?
Huh?
Could we schedule that
Yeah,
now?
give it.
What is everybody?
I got a 1 o'clock meeting back here, but I mean, after this, if you wanna do it, that'd be fine with me.
Okay.
Just check with Pete and make sure that he's good with everything, but we'll go out and look at it and we'll get a better perspective of everything, you know? But as Barry said, if you wanna try to call a engineer, somebody about concrete in, you know, that's fine too. If those guys, the people that have this meal won't really give us no idea of it, well then maybe, how about the people that, that's building our building now?
Do they do slabs?
Is he an engineer, has any skills of?
No, they do not do slabs. They don't do concrete.
I
I
can
know a
reach
guy
out to
that
some
does
folks
slabs.
that can help us with that now.
I know a guy in Natchitoches that does slabs and builds buildings. And he might be some help to a young college guy, but he's in business.
Like I said, I could reach out to some folks that probably could help us out. Or give us some names, in other words. To me, you really need to get in touch with somebody that, help put a meal together somewhere, whether it's the pole mill out at Noble or Warehouser or something like that, that's running heavy equipment on it. and stuff.
That's run those conveyor belts like that. I mean, setups.
I know that guy can go about like it at the pole man.
Yeah, that's what I thought about the pole mill. But yeah, we'll cover that when we get out there and start looking, get our layout.
How big a radius does that make when you're moving it? I mean, can it go 50 feet or?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna say probably 20 feet.
I've got it in the States. I'm talking.
So it'll go all the way this way to this way. I got you. All right, well, we'll start looking in, get that moving, see what we come up with.
And you'll let us know
And during
when
this
you know.
process also, we'll be in contact with our finance guy here to let him know what's going on. So
So
we'll
are
make
we-
sure we can keep up with our finances with this.
Are we going out there today and looking at it, or are we doing it another day?
If whatever day you want to schedule it.
I'm here. I'm just, whatever works for everybody else.
Yeah, I can get away today.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
got 200 emails to go check, but they all pertaining to the same thing.
Just
What do I
check
do
with-
with me today?
Yeah,
Okay.
ask Pete to be all right.
I texted him.
Okay. All right, any other discussion on the pug mill?
What's the ETA of it?
Middle of the year, May, June. Pete said that's fine.
So one more thing about it.
Mhm.
You can go ahead and do your slab since you got everything here, but you can't do your building yet. You can have your slab
Right,
ready so when it gets
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
We won't hit Mr. Bill all at one time with
No, y'all got to,
pieces.
yeah, it don't hurt quite as bad.
Any other discussion on the pug mill? No,
Good.
good? All right, let's move on to item 11 to discuss the grader repair for the cat. I think I had that somewhere. Did you have a copy of that, Bobby?
I do.
I thought I had it here somewhere.
Is this the grader from the landfill
Yes.
that we got rid of because we couldn't repair it?
Well, we looked at it. Refresh my memory on that. We just got somebody to come look
If
at
I
it.
remember right, this was years ago, long ago, this was 2 and 3 grader. And we sold it to the landfill.
That's right.
And Pete said that it's spent. He can't run it. We've got to have a new one. So the landfill bought Ward 8's grader, and Ward 8 bought a new grader.
Right.
So this one, we've learned that a lot of the new stuff, got electronics on it, it's got DEF on it. We have a lot of problems with that kind of stuff. So we've learned that there's value in older equipment that doesn't have all those problems. So we took a look at this grader to see what it would take to get it back in working order. And we, rather than disposing of it, can't buy these. You can, but you know. And we're looking at right under $37,000. There's probably a little bit of this we can take off, but roughly $37,000 on the initial estimate of getting that grader and having it as still being a usable machine.
Where's it at?
Louisiana Cat in Alexandria.
What all does it need?
How old is it, Bob? How old is it?
I don't remember the year, but it's older machine. No, it's older machine.
30 years old, 50 years old, 20 years old, 10?
30, 40. I don't, maybe it's an 8 model. I don't know. But it's still a good machine. In my opinion, it's worth keeping.
Well, at the landfill, they don't use it every day like we do on the road.
Well, just speaking of that, a few years back, Ward 6 and 10 purchased an old grader for a backup, and also to have in the areas. One stays in the Mitchell community, one stays in Noble, and one stays on the north end. One day this week, was it Ward 5's grader went down, Ward 4's grader went down. So they came up and picked up the one on the north end, and that's what they use it now. And as he said, a lot of these newer graders, you have issues with them. I know in the past that one that was in Mitchell over there, Mitchell community, it stayed in the shop. We didn't have a grader for 5 months. And that's why we got this other one. Because if you ain't got a grader in 5 months, but you're in trouble because you can't run that grader from one ward to the other and keep both of them up. So that's a plus to having an extra one. But the thing, like I said, the thing is, is the machine worth $30,000? Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt.
If you surplus it, you're not going to get that for it. So it's just, is there any other districts that could probably use this grader?
Well, what I think the talk has been outside this room about this is having this as a parish-wide grader, as a parish-wide grader, but as a spare. It also, just truth of it is, we all operate as a parish. We all operate. There are ward graders, but everybody has a cooperative endeavor agreement, and everybody, every juror is open to that. In a drop of a hat, willing to help the other one out. So we all use all equipment as parish-wide in a sense.
Okay, well, it's not a lot wrong with this grader.
Yeah.
It's $6,000 in parts. It's $26,600 in labor. It's not a whole lot wrong with that grader. That's unreal.
I believe it had some bushings in the middle problems.
And there are some things from that we chose to take off to reduce that cost to that. And those things are things that we could do at our shop,
But the main part of it that's about to fall apart in the middle, that's going to be covered. Is that covered in that?
Recondition. Let's see.
Some kind of a pin.
Yeah.
I remember.
Replace bushings, tie rod in, etc. Recondition car fire.
No, it's been donated.
It ain't covered in here. The
Let's get another check on that
replace
tin.
door latches, turbo, transmission oil pump, shim blade. It said replace bushings, tie rod,
That's all
and
it
et cetera.
was the shims and the articulating part.
So, Mr. Bill, the landfill still owns the grader?
No.
Who owns the grader? The parish
The
does?
parish does now.
But if you put
Landfill.
50,000 in it, you
The
still.
landfill bought it originally from 2 and 3.
Okay.
And then they had the problems with it and, told us that it wasn't fixable.
Right.
So then we bought the one from 8 and 8 bought a new grader.
Who said it wasn't fixable?
People. And so,
It was down a
Landfill.
lot.
the landfill has 8 old grader. 2 and 3, which was owned by landfill, is now parish-wide owned.
That's this one.
Yeah, that's the one you're
So
talking
the
about.
parish already owns it.
Oh, yeah,
So we're just talking
It's just
about,
if we want to invest $30,000
that's it.
in it.
That's
37.
the question.
Well, you could put 50 in and still come out ahead. What was that new grader for Ward 8?
2.
the lower two.
Well, I'm not a big fan of brand new equipment. I'm telling you guys, they that new equipment, it's all nice and updated, but when you have issues, you got issues. That's from trucks to graders to anything.
Yeah,
There's so much technology on those things, so, I mean, I'll be in support of keeping the machine and having it fixed myself.
And
We should be able to,
We don't have that budgeted, but I mean, we should be able to move something around.
yeah.
And just so everybody knows, if you remember, Ward 1 had a grader that it fell apart. And we sent it down there to, Lieutenant Cat, and they went through, I don't remember what was it, 130, something like that. And they went through the machine completely. And we've not had it, since it's been back, we've not had a day of trouble with it. So,
These are good old machines,
yeah,
Mhm.
and they did, so,
kind of
Hate to let
manual.
it-
Most of your
hate to let it
guys
go.
could work on that machine.
yeah.
Cause I just, and like I said, I hope it don't happen, but these new machines that these different boards have got, it's coming, they gonna have issues.
Now, mine's probably the oldest ones of the new ones. What is it, $800 something when they come hook the computer up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's more than that. That don't even cover the travel.
No,
$1,500 in travel.
Cat,
That
Yeah.
I
Volvo,
don't care, then,
that Volvo I got, you ain't know tell how many times.
that
Been able to
piano
hook it
wire,
up.
that piano string on that one.
But anyway.
this doesn't, I mean, it don't even go back to the computer.
No,
So I would be for trying to
Salvage.
keep it.
yeah. All right, so I got a motion by
I got that make it motion.
Bird,
I'll second.
second by Bruce. All in favor? All opposed? All right, well, motion carried. We'll make the recommendation.
And it'll be a parish wide, right?
Yes.
Bill. Nah, dog.
Okay.
He blamed you for it. huh?
Mhm.
All right, that's a recommendation on that. Okay, any other discussion on this item? All right. Moving on to number 12, discuss unpaid citation list.
We were asked, I was asked to put this on here, and we were gonna talk about what to do with our unpaid citations. That's just for y'all, we were talking about that in a minute, I just didn't pass that out. That's what I'm talking about.
Here,
Oh, okay.
y'all got
I
one?
got 2.
We got one.
That's just a PTA.
Yeah, this-
That's for later on, I think.
Yeah.
So the citation list, what's our concerns with it?
Well, I don't remember how we came to this conversation, but about we're gonna talk about what to do with the unpaid citations.
So what is our process in that? How are these processed? We write the citation,
We write the
they
citation.
come here and pay them?
They come here and, this is what I think it is. The bill is a process this, that the citation, we write them and then we, they come here, Lindy kind of puts them in the computer, kind of keeps up with them. So when they pay, she'll have a record of, and mark off who's paid and who's not paid. And that's what I think the process is. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have, then every great once in a while, Lindy sends a list of, these are the people that have not paid. We got people on here from January of 23.
My name on it?
No, but, there's a few people on here that individuals, let's just say, that I don't damn well will never pay. And really, since we changed these to be, civil citations, that they're just fines that we've imposed on people. And, what can we do? When we went to this and start writing our own citations, that was a conversation with Don, y'all can do it, but, I can't help you with it anymore. It's not, it's just a fine you impose. So, what can we do? Now, what we've started doing is when we stop, we stop Barry Stevens in his truck and he's with Barry Stevens' truck. Well, we'll make a note. Who are you hauling for? He's hauling for Swin. Well, then we'll have a record of that, because going back and trying to make Barry pay, because a year from now, Barry he may be hauling, he may do something else. So we'll have a record that he was at that time hauling. Maybe not on all these back then. I remember when we started that, if we have a record. We have it on those. But like here, we've got a guy that hauled for Mountain Country Energy. Who were they hauling for back then,
So who was the permit in?
Mountain.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. These are people that are just hauling, most of them are probably saltwater that were hauling for somebody.
That could be swinging.
Well, I thought in our permit process, and Bobby, that whoever that location is the operator or owns the location, or if you own the tract of timber, or whoever the owner of that is, that's who the permit should be in their name.
These are people that are running without a permit. These are just people running down our road without a permit.
Okay, but what I'm saying though, the permit holder should be the people that they're working for. So say if Barry Stevens is hauling salt water for Indigo or whoever, then Indigo needs to be the permit holder, not Barry. Because that's what we got into years ago, because
We're stopping a truck and we're writing a citation to the driver of that truck.
right.
We're not writing a citation to Swin.
It should be to them because they the permit holder.
They are supposed to give
This
the
guy,
trucking company a copy of the permit.
I
And
get
each
it.
truck's supposed to get it, but they're not doing it.
Okay, but that's the only way we gonna be able to do it. We got to have something to hold them by.
I understand, but I'm thinking of the guy that's out on the road that's stopping a truck. Say we get,
Okay, say he pulls that truck over in this
I'm not gonna get a name. We're gonna.
Big A trucking. So he writes this guy a ticket for this with this company, got the guy's name, driver's license, all that information. Who you working for?
And a lot of people that we get,
They ain't working for nobody.
they don't communicate. We're unable to communicate.
They don't speak English.
And we don't, you know what I mean? They just sit there and smile and,
Yeah, I
So
got
it's
you,
hard
I
on
got you.
every stop
I got
to get who you're working for. So we try to figure that out, and we do now keep up with on every citation, who they're working for, when we can get it, but we haven't always.
Okay, I got you. So these people right here, have we sent them letters?
That's what we're here to talk about today. Who does that and who and how are we gonna do that? What are we gonna do to try to collect this?
I would send them, me personally, just my opinion, and Bill, y'all the administrative in here, y'all, it ain't like y'all ain't got enough to do already, but,
I know they're gonna want us to do it.
is it something that Bobby's office can type up a letter? If you give them a draft of it,
We can give them a list. Yeah, we can do it right.
give them a draft of a letter, basically tell each one of them the same thing, and it'd be
Form
a,
letter of
Send
work.
it certified?
yeah, and just send them a letter and tell them if you don't pay your fine, and then those names go on the list of no permits
But
you
who do we
can't
send
get
a
it.
letter to the driver?
to the driver.
No.
So if,
The company.
To the
If you know the company, you send it to the company.
Yeah.
But if you don't know the company, you have to send it to the driver. Now, I had a conversation a few months back with a guy from Chesapeake. And he said that there was a lot of citations there that he was trying to get rounded up to get us money because he knew that, I guess they got information that they not gonna get, they won't have it location permitted. So I don't know if he ever got up with us or not. But if it's with Chesapeake,
who you deal talking to?
Pro Sale with Chesapeake.
Some of them ain't even got no kind of drive. I got
See,
United
that's the one
States
that's hard to
driver's
get. Them
license.
saltwater trucks, man, they come from all over the United States. And they come and pull sand for a month and then they go back to, they might not ever come back.
What Chris talked about, one, he had the, Mexico license. Why can't, if they don't come here and work, they should have.
But they're working for somebody here.
We've got people from Canada, you know, we've
Mhm.
got people from India.
But
Hmm.
that truck may show a New Mexico door emblem, but that bill of lading should show who they're working for. They have to have paperwork to show what they're hauling.
All I know do, Bobby, is try to reach out to them and send them a letter. And,
And then the ones that we don't, we're just gonna have to write off.
write them off and put the name on the list. And if they ever call back and say, hey, kind of like way back in the day, whenever, you couldn't write that check at that store, they had your name on that list. Yeah, that's the best we can
Hey,
do.
or they had that check laying under that glass top where everybody sees
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that was even better. wasn't it?
Cause other than that, and we knew we was gonna get into this, cause Don can't do nothing with it. It's a civil matter.
Mhm.
And and the
If
whole
that
purpose,
trucking company, irregardless of who's driving that truck, another truck comes through there with that company, then it ought to be shut down right there. It's gotta be paid before you move. I don't know how you do that.
Can we legally, if I got a bunch of tickets and all, and you keep stopping the same truck, can we have it towed?
That's a question for Don. I'll get with him. That's what I'm thinking. If we could stop it on the spot, that'd be great.
And if our ordinance too was it's been 3 years ago probably that we
been 3
really got
years
into
at least.
that, but we chose not to really get into it. But our ordinance is very weak. Our ordinance is very weak. We can write a ticket for one thing, no permit. That's it,
unpermitted road.
no permit.
No permit for this road.
Well, there are violations in there, but there's only one, am I right, Bill? There's only one penalty. The penalty is no permit. That's the only thing that it
Yeah,
states.
following traveling unpermitted route.
If I had to pull the ordinance to read it, I don't know from the top of my head.
That's the best we can do. And the whole purpose of it, was not so much to get revenue off fines, is the prevention part of it. And it's worked over the years, because
In place,
even though with those people,
You probably have more problem than anybody.
both of them, me and K-Wall. That's
But
what
it
the
It
most,
would
worked.
be nice to have the weight of a different ordinance if you need it,
so we may need to revisit our ordinance.
Mhm.
And look at stiffing some of those of it's 250 first time, 500 second time, I mean, cause if Don's out of it, can't we pretty much just up it, and the third time you ain't getting no permit? And then you would go and you would get into the part to where you running, without trying to run without a permit, that it should been warned, and that'd be even stiffer. If you think you could just beat the system, otherwise you just gonna, you know.
That's the part where you need to find out if you can park it and tow it.
That's right.
I think those fines are very kind of too lenient.
Yeah,
you know?
because then you get into civil matters, and only way out then you'll have to go through the civil and put a judgment against them.
Let's just say that and this happens, you know, sometimes, that we get a company, you know, Jones Trucking from Longview or wherever, and they're bringing a random piece of equipment to a site. They've never been here, and we have had that where we've stopped them, and we've never been to Sabine Parish. That's an education right there. Hey, look, y'all never been here. If you come back, you're on the road. But a truck that runs this, you know what I mean, that runs this road all the time, that they know what they're doing. They're a saltwater truck.
I still say, I would still lean hard on this, Bobby, is that permit holder. If you run into them locations, that company, whether it's Comstock or Chesapeake or whoever, they the permit holder. They the only ones that can control what goes on, you know, with their vendors that haul for them, do work for them. Same way with Axe. We know our go-to people is GEP. They the ones paying for it. They the one hiring it. You know, and we've had this discussion 12 years ago. That don't make your problem our problem. You the one hired. They employed by you. That's your employees. And then because we were getting stuck out, hung out in the middle.
Well,
When we used to haul for Blazer on the Chesapeake jobs, it didn't matter if I had one truck or 23 of them up there. Blazer made sure that all my guys, when they loaded, they got their permit. They had them laid over there somewhere on the truck, and you got that permit number before you went on that location. And that's all these guys have to do, because now, I mean, it's a matter of Chesapeake says ding, ding, ding to this operator, and then he sends it to his drivers. And if I call in here for a permit for my trucks now, I just send them that. I usually call and get my number, and I just send them Sabine Parish permit number for Taylor Road.
well, like that one, remember that when it went down Taylor Road? He was going to the paper mill at the Ritter. I forget where he come from. He done it on the GPS. Taylor Road is dead end.
One line.
There in that one lane. He went to the end of it and then had to back out. He said, well, this is where my GPS sent.
I know how that is.
They sent one down yonder on Rolling Hills. He passed the location up, went all the way down yonder to the back of Morris Lane. I mean,
Use your head.
if it's a well down there, you ain't the first one at that well site. So it's gonna be signed that it's a good road there. He tore down mailboxes, signs, everything.
They go to the Florine mill, and they put Florine or Fisher, but when they put it in their GPS, it brings them to Shady Hill Road, and they wind up down there at my father-in-law's. You can't turn around a boat and a trailer.
Yeah.
Well, that's one company. You don't see no Bigfoot trucks no more, do you? You know what happened to them? They got caught padding the books. If you'll notice, all swim, the ones that pull swim water now, I got a meter on the back of them. Bigfoot was turning in, they was pulling the pit, hauled 5 loads from it, and the boy was there backfilling it. They hadn't even showed up. They got axed.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't change the name of the
But like I
company.
said, that's a problem that it used to be real. This here, how many names you say you got? 25 roughly? Allie, you might be able to get him kind of
Draft.
a draft of a letter that just pretty much, you
Yeah,
know,
we'll do that.
and send them and let Ashley and them process them.
Yes, sir.
let Ashley and, Miss Tommy process.
Okay. You're gonna give us a letter.
We'll get like a draft. I'll
Get
let
a
Mr.
draft.
Bill look at it and see, and it'll just be a generic, and then, Ashley, Tommy, whomever,
Fill in the
whoever, fill in the blank.
Okay.
Send it to whomever, yeah.
Yeah.
And send them certified so you can like have tracking on.
But the ones that are on there that are work for one of these companies, I will contact that company.
I made some notes, things I thought of, that were going, and then we'll make some changes on our permit too to make.
We ain't gonna get all of them, but we gonna,
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion on this, guys? Bobby, you got it? All right, let's move on to discuss a method for fund distribution for awards represented by multiple jurors. Okay.
I would like to say one thing first. Mr. Ruffin, Ron Bison's not here, but Mr. Ruffin wanted me to express this to everybody. Ward 4 now shared by 4 jurors. Right?
5.
Ruffin, Ronnie, Bruce, Randy,
Bo.
Bo. Oh, Bo's got a little minute of it, huh? Okay. Mr. Ruffin has always been, the one to say, hey, man, you take care of a little something in my area, let everybody else have it. My roads over the years, have been taken care of, been here a long time. I've done a lot of my asphalt work. I just need a little rock here and there, Be sure you take care of me in my area, and I'll step back and let everybody else have the money. And, he said we've got a little pipeline money that for a couple of roads in his area that we're gonna fix. So he wanted everybody to know, same thing. He'll step back. There's not a lot of money there to split. He'll step back and let everybody, kind of have their piece, bigger piece. So,
Good with whatever Mr. Ruffin needs.
So,
Take it out of Bird's district.
what's the method of how you do it now? Just
Bill had kind of been, everybody just jurors kind of sit there and kind of just have a gentleman's agreement on.
It always has been a gentleman's agreement, but, if you wanted to do a formal allocation, that would be a question of how to do that.
Well,
I would lean towards, I've got Zach to build me a map of the precincts. And I would want to look at the volume of voters in each precinct, because you could have a large area and a lot of miles of road with not a lot of people on it, where you might have a higher ad valorem tax in a compactor area that doesn't have as many miles. So I would want to look at the volume of votes, or the population.
Okay, based on population.
I got
Instead
the
of
north
road
end
miles.
of 4, it's gonna be slim population and lots of road miles.
Right.
You might have.
I don't think
one
miles-
person live.
Hmm?
I
You
disagree
might
with
have
that
4
completely.
miles of road with one person on it.
That's right.
Bird,
And then you might have 2 miles of road with
go by the miles.
20
Can you do
people.
that?
Yeah.
You got,
Well, if you go by the miles, then you're taking from an area that's highly taxed and subsidizing an area that doesn't pay any tax.
I see.
But most of like the town of Manning, most of the roads are asphalted anyway, correct?
And
So
see,
to
that's,
get into higher population areas,
Yeah, they're gonna be.
less
asphalt.
road work.
that's why Mr. Ruffin just does a little bit on Middle Creek.
Right.
'cause
Then you go
he's-
to me, Bison, Bird, and Stewart. We got dirt roads.
Mhm.
Mhm. Which Bison's gonna have some, Manny, ain't he? Stephen did.
Yeah, Steve, yeah, he's gonna have some, Dyson will have some name.
As they work, let's say they work in Ward 2. Bobby sends you in, look, we got X amount of rock for Ward 2, we did work here, and you bill it out against that road board. Is that the way it works?
And then Road 4, we don't pay any attention in the general ledger as to what road district it's in. It's in, well, we care about the road district, we don't care what jurors
Right.
district it's in. It's
Yeah,
just-
so how
it's
much,
Ward
how
4.
much real control does the juror have over?
Right now, not a whole lot.
That's what,
Now, you're asking about rock?
I'm not asking about rock, I'm asking
He's
about the
asking about-
financing and how it works. And we're worried about dividing money when it gets charged to the road board anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we even have a choice over, I mean, you say, Randy, you got, $100,000. Does he really get to choose where he puts it? No,
Mm-mm.
right? Am I wrong?
You're
or-
right.
Okay,
Now, the only way you could get control over it is to go into a subdivision inside the chart of accounts, and say like Ward 4.1 is you.
right.
District 4.2 is Ronnie, and so forth.
Yeah.
And then you'd say, well, you've got this much in each classification, and you just complicate the world out of it.
Well,
Hey, and
I mean,
two-
we're the same way. We get, because I share, Ward 3 with Ronnie,
Mhm.
because it goes above Highway 6. So we both got it, but in any work that goes on in there, you're gonna charge to Ward 3, correct?
That's correct.
I'm not directing the work. You're getting calls and you're putting the work in there and it goes out against the budget of Ward 3.
Well,
correct.
okay, so
So I'm trying to figure out what our discretionary funds are. That's my question. To where this actually
It's
comes
not
into
actually-
play.
That's not actually recorded anywhere right now. Never has been.
Right,
It's always been like Bobby says, a gentleman's agreement.
right.
And the reason that I'm interested in bringing up this conversation was and I'll tell you how I think of it. Since I've been here, the hot mix line item, right or wrong, belongs to the juror. The jurors kind of pick what roads we do in the hot mix line item. That's asphalt with the hard surface, asphalt, now we're gonna do oil sand. So that line item, because right now we're asking for a wish list, we can call it wish list, contributions of what roads you might want done. For example, Bruce gave me a list. What Bruce is, he requested 3 projects. Those 3 projects. he
You
didn't
done
get
took
because, we didn't do any asphalt, but what he's asked for already exceeds the whole Ward 4, or it comes close to exceeding the whole Ward 4 amount. So how do we, when we start getting wish list, suggestions, how are we, meaning you all gonna determine, are y'all gonna just have a gentleman's agreement? Everybody just agree, hey, I'll take 25%, or whatever. So that, to me, that was my intention of having this conversation today, is how are we gonna do it for the hot mix?
Hot mix and oil sand is your main,
Two.
cause those are pretty much decided, or the juror has input on those projects. So that's your main concern is those 2.
Hot mix.
So what you're saying is you have a low budget, you got 4 different people in it,
Now 5.
5. Just say you got $300,000 in, you got 5 people.
You ain't getting much.
You ain't getting much. So that's why Mr. Ruffin always done the gentleman's agreement to where, okay, let's work on this project or whatever, and everybody, sometimes you get left out, but then the next year, somebody else gets it. So that's kind of the way, best I can remember.
And the way they got it now, some of them, north side of the road I got, south side Bruce's got.
Yeah.
How you know, how you,
Well, if you're
where's the
doing-
dividing line there?
Well, if you're doing the road and y'all on each side, you both gonna really benefit out of
Benefit,
that
yeah.
road getting done.
Mhm.
But that's a
You know,
screwed up mess.
Well,
the
I
way
mean,
they got it.
look, we just play with the cards that are dealt to
I
us,
know,
man, through
I
the
know.
system. That's just the way it is.
So a question for Bobby, what was that the other day you measured, I asked to go ahead and overlay it, 1/2 mile?
All RT Leach or?
No, I didn't want to
Zachary
overlay
Taylor.
RT Leach.
Zachary Taylor.
Zachary Taylor. Zachary Taylor's the only asphalt I asked for. Cause when the pug mill comes, I want to do RT Leach.
Well, but on the other 2, you asked for specific projects with rock on it.
Yeah,
And those, that's.
that was the other end of Zachary Taylor.
Yes, and then we talked about RT Leach, which is not a big deal, but that's a significant project for the rock on that section of our, Zachary Taylor too. So, for example, I'm not wanting to go get deep into this, but Jeff, a previous juror, had asked for, we had a flat out specific detailed conversation about Jeff wanted a certain road rock from here to there, and it was a fair amount. And he was gonna use part of his hot mix. Remember this?
Mhm.
It's hot mix money.
Yep.
Well, you don't charge rock to hot mix, but
No,
we were gonna up here kind of keep record of what we did, and, well, then after it was done, well, he forgot the conversation, and, well, that's not the case, and I want my hot mix money too.
Mhm.
So if we're doing a request of like a half a mile of rock from here to here, then that's a significant project that we need to talk about out of how we're gonna fund this, because, you know what I mean? If you ask for half a mile of rock on Zachary Taylor Road, and Bird comes up on half a
I
mile of
wanted
his
half a
road,
mile of hot mix, wasn't it?
but the other end,
That's right.
from Chris Abraham's house on, was
Yeah,
rock. I'm just saying that is a significant project that we're gonna have to take as a significant project, not just if everybody comes with a half a mile of rock on certain roads, 5 jurors come,
That goes
It's a lot of
out
rock.
of the budget.
it takes out of our maintenance. Our rock budget is kind of a maintenance fund. It's not a project fund. I'm just trying to talk it all out so we're all on the same page.
Mhm.
Well,
um,
those jurors that are involved in this budget, whatever budget it is gonna be the ones gonna have to talk it out.
So we're gonna just go there.
So if Bruce, whether it's Bruce, Mr. Ruffin, you part of it,
But
Bison, y'all just gonna have to try to talk it out and come to some agreement. Cause you're only limited, I mean, cause if you got, just say if you got 300,000, you got 5 people, you busted up, you ain't got nothing. It really takes that whole budget to make a showing to do something, you know.
see, I didn't think about the amount of rock to do that, Zachary Taylor, to just now, and that's 418 tons.
So, and really, I'm just, again, just everybody get on the same page and know that the jurors, again, this is how I've always seen it. The jurors kind of put together a wish list of what roads we want done out of our hot mix line, out of your hot mix line. And that's your hard surface roads. The gravel and rock budget is more for maintenance of our roads. So again, back to Zachary Taylor, for example, if you wanted that stretch of road, it's hard to come and say, hey, I want half a mile, I want a mile of this road rock end to end. Hey, man, we don't have, that's a job.
That's a problem.
We don't have that. That needs to be something we plan and budget.
My deal there is that road was there when I was a kid, and I just hate to see it totally go to
I'm
waste.
talking about the rock end.
Yeah, okay.
I get your asphalt.
You may have to do that, like on the Big End Ranch when they run the truck right down the middle. You go down there now, I mean, I go over there twice a day to feed, and they run that rock 8.5 foot, and it's now out there to 16 foot. you know?
Again, we have put a tremendous amount of rock on Bean Ranch Road. Part of that was part of what Stephen contributed a ton of money on 2 years ago, and it's just not there forever.
Right.
Road, you know.
But yeah, because we got the WB Lewin or something yesterday phone
Yeah.
call. But a lot of that can be graded because this rock there is just full of potholes. Needs to be scarfied and bladed up.
You take the white rock back up.
That's gone.
So I guess when you get your wish list together, have you got your wish list together from this district board or whatever?
I've got, Bruce gave me a wish list
Okay.
of his projects. That's the only one I got.
So
You done one of mine.
if anybody,
Well, I've got,
Fram.
yeah, well, true.
but what I'm saying, if those projects are in this same district, but then the jurors need like Mr. Ruffin said, y'all need to kind of sit down and work it out. And, you have to give and take some, because all in all, you only got so much that you can work with.
So everybody's agreeable that we're still gonna do just kind of a gentleman's agreement between the jurors of that area. Okay, then can you all please have a gentleman's conversation? and
Yeah, Bird's
let me
gonna
know?
give me all his money, so it's all set.
Ain't gonna give me his.
You don't want his money out of one of his districts, 'cause it ain't
Yeah, you
done
have it
that.
out of
Yeah.
oh,
I'm in agreement.
Oh,
with it.
Lord.
All right,
Whatever Mr. Bill comes up with, like, didn't you say you had a plan, get the percentage or something?
I can get it together as a percentage.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. I really didn't think about it. I never have thought about it. I've always tried to figure, why in the hell don't they just do it by the miles? But then Bill opened my eyes to the taxpayer.
Say, I got Cedar Grove. You turn off Manny Mossville Road, you get to Ivy Villaman's before you get to a house. Ivy Villaman's old place.
Yeah, where did we meet there?
Don't even.
But-
I think you got part of.
Going out by the dump.
You got the dump side, and I got the Rocky
And then
Springs
Big End
side.
Ranch comes in on that to there. But then I still got some on around there, don't
This by creeks.
I? Holly Road.
Back on that, even if you do it by the miles, the whole thing, I guess, is that, I mean, just say if you got 100 miles there and Bird got 10 of it, Mr. Ruffin got 30 of it, and this one here's got this, you still ain't got nothing but a pocket full of nickels.
That's right.
So y'all
You
gonna
gotta
have to
sort
come
of
together
divide it.
to have a gentleman's agreement. I mean, you could do it by miles, population, however, but you're still gonna end up with a pocket full of nickels, either way you look at it. And, you know, you're gonna have to concentrate on one project, or you know,
Well,
a couple of projects.
and I guess that's being new is what I'm trying to figure out, because you don't know how much money you actually deal with.
Right.
And
So
how
do
much
I have
money's in this?
$100,000 that I can do, you know, a quarter mile of road somewhere that needs repairs, or do I have $300,000 and I need to do 3 projects? So you're not sure what
Well,
you're doing.
well,
We
you're-
know the total for
And I
that.
know I've got a very small budget. Them numbers are way obscure.
But you have but you do have a asphalt budget.
Yes.
Right, there's a hot mix budget in there.
Yes. And then you have, I don't know what, like I said, I don't know your budget or nothing, but you have a rock budget that is basically runs about the same every year. Most of your parts and batteries and this and that is pretty much the same every year, roughly somewhere.
Right.
So your big item is your asphalt. And that's the one you say, okay, I want to do this road, or I like to do this road, or whatever. So that's really the one that because the rest of it's going to take it.
And that's the
You
one
got culverts, you know, for the last 12 years, my culverts been about the same, sometime up, sometime low, but you're going to replace those culverts. You're going to put that gravel out there to keep it passable, maintenance. And what I do is say if I got $200,000 in an asphalt budget, well, I say, well, I want to do this road this year and part of that road. And then next year I'll finish up that road and I'll have another lift project. So, and just mine, I try to take care of all the short roads that I can, because that's the ones that eat your man hours up. You know, and if you have a road, me personally, if you have a road that you get a calls on constantly, then you eating a lot of man hours and a lot of material up on that road. So, but anyway, that's just my thoughts.
Well, I got, sat down with Mr. Bill, but just for a little while. But it seemed like we had some funds that weren't spent last year. So I'm trying to figure out, I mean, if we had funds, I would surely like to have rocks on the road. So if we had them, how do I know we had them or where they were? And I'm just trying to get a feel for how to be effective with the money we do have.
Right.
So.
He can answer your
Good
question.
question.
He can
I'll
answer
show
it
it to
for
you.
you.
Well, he kind of showed it to me, but again, we get to the point where, and we just discussed it, there's very few discretionary funds. It's the hot mix only. But if we had $100,000 left over for last year that wasn't used in rocks or wherever, hot mix or whatever, I think we pretty much used our hot mix last year from what I can gather. But can we use that somewhere else this year?
It's already been reallocated. Whenever it's not
Into the
spent,
budget,
it goes into fund balance,
okay?
and what you budget is your expected revenues plus the fund balance from the prior year or years that's accumulated.
Okay.
So say you've got 300,000 coming in ad valorem tax and 200,000 that was left over from the prior year. You have a total of 500,000 that's available for allocation to expenses this year,
And it's in the budget,
and it's in the
and
budget.
it's allocated already.
It's already allocated.
And I would advise you don't drain your budget every year. Always carry some in my head.
Yeah, you know that for a fact.
I got Road District 4, they voted tax down. So this year I wouldn't have nothing to work on if I had to save some every year.
Yeah. It's best because you don't ever know when these floods is gonna hit or any disasters, and you got to have a little something in there to,
They gonna holler, hey, you need to spend it all, you need.
You know, and
need
then
to save some.
even if FEMA comes in and you get reimbursed on that, it's usually about 2 years before you
Oh,
see
you
it.
get
So,
the money.
At least 2 years.
so it's not like it's an immediate refund in, so you're still gonna suffer. You know, I know in the past years on the south end, when all that flooding hit, it was years of trying to get reimbursed on that stuff. It was new to a lot of them, didn't know, wasn't a lot of information there, and it took years, and finally, we just had that was it. You weren't gonna get no more, so the loss was a loss.
It was 5 years.
Yeah.
We spent 5 years collecting that money.
So anyway. Okay, well, I wish y'all guys good luck on that. Okay, item 14, discuss acceptance of a dump truck from the town of Manning. We getting a gift?
Bill finally found his title. We had talked to Town of Manning. We've always had a good relationship with them, worked well with them. They had a little dump truck that was not being used. And I kind of keep my eyes peeled on what people got sitting around. And we talked to them, and it's something that we could really use. All of our old small dump trucks are standards. This is an automatic truck that we can use with our little spreader box that we can fill shoulders to the roads. It's automatic. Anyway, it's a really good asset to us.
Man, you mean that Jewel went down?
Yours is still running, but Ward 8's truck motor blew up on it. But we're keeping it. We're not getting rid of it. We're keeping it because we can't find parts. We couldn't even find a headlight plug for anywhere. Not even online, nowhere.
Yeah.
But we got a red one sitting in the back that we're gonna hang on to, and it's our parts truck for your old truck. But so we're gonna take the spreader box off that, put it on this truck,
Yeah.
and then that truck will be as a spot. It'll be used. We were gonna just do kind of a loan on it, and the mayor decided that he says he's thankful for the relationship we have and how much we help them, and they voted to just give it to us. So
It runs?
yes. There's some things that we're gonna fix before we put it on the road, but it's a free truck. It's only got 46,000 miles on it. It's an older truck, but good shape.
Lee International?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Probably ain't been out of city limits.
No.
So what we need to do on that, Bill, just,
We just accept.
okay. We need a motion to accept that.
Yeah.
I might get my,
Motion by Mr. Byrd
I second.
to recommend. All in favor?
nah,
All opposed? They don't ever turn down no gift. They don't come often.
no.
All right, moving on, item 15, to discuss the Parish Transportation Act road priority list. Okay. First question I had, Bobby, I have, all of 2023s were completed.
Nope.
Well, all of the ones that were not completed were oil sand roads. So they were bumped up. That's the first roads on 24.
So Eves, Egypt, Carhee, that was the remaining of 23.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause it's gonna be my new updated list now.
And just a reminder, I put on the top, your PTA roads as of, and I put, and it's the date I printed it.
Okay.
So we used to have a gentleman that came to the meeting for public comments, and I'd always remind him that this list is good for this day only,
Until we get our next one.
until we change it. So they'll always have the date on it. If you got a stack of lists, you keep it home, always look at the dates.
So all of these, I say all of them, let's see, oil, sand, rock. Most of the roads this year is oil sand.
Well, we don't know about Little Egypt yet. We negotiate.
Yeah. So what about,
Correction on one here, Bobby.
what we got,
In 25,
on 25? Okay.
on Wright's Landing Phase 1,
Uh-huh,
that's gonna be asphalt.
okay.
How far in you going on, K-Wall?
Huh?
How far in you going?
I'm gonna do, PTA gonna do one phase, and I'm gonna do the next phase while they there. And then the following year in 26, is it on 26 also continue? Yeah. On 26, it's 4 miles back there.
Yeah.
We're gonna do 2 miles. PTA gonna do 1 mile, I'm gonna do 1 mile. And then the following year, they gonna do the mile, and then we gonna try to finish it somewhere around 4 miles. That's kind of my plan on that 2-year phase. Kind of my plan.
Bless you.
Bless you, Bruce. I do mine about 5 o'clock in the morning when it hits me.
Okay, on McManus. That's the one, y'all done the front part of McManus and the back. This is the part that's in the middle.
This is what we talked about, we gave up, we didn't do this is the middle, yeah.
Yes,
This is just the continuous one we did last year.
yeah, this is phase 2. Yeah, I got you. Well, look like we need to get that pug mill rolling, son.
24-hour shifts.
Yeah, right. Long.
Those
Long road.
When we
that
get it
bird.
going, Mr. Bill, let them, Ben's and they but 1 or 2, let them make it a little.
Long's a racetrack,
Gonna
ain't
do
it?
what now?
Little OT.
Little OT?
It's on 25.
Long.
Okay. We're gonna need to recommend, a resolution to amend the PTA list. And amend it form of a resolution.
So why do we have to amend it?
Because we adopted it, now we're gonna change it.
We can't change it next year?
No,
Or not to next year? We can change our mind next year, can't we?
we need to change it, we need to amend it when we change our mind. But we need to.
It ain't
do
the
an amendment.
25, Mr. Bill.
Yeah, when can we reevaluate that?
Well, we're gonna make some changes, we need to do an amendment.
So we gotta do it today?
No, we'll do it in the regular meeting on the 21st, we'll do a resolution to amend the
Okay.
PTA list.
So we're
Has it-
talking
has it
about
been
our
changed?
Wright's Landing. Since we changed the Wright's Landing, was that what you said?
Yeah, since you're changing your list, what it is, that's only change from all asphalt to all sand, that's on, you're not adding a road or,
No,
I
we just
think, I
changed it.
think
no, we can fly with that.
let's double check. Who has the official list? Do you, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can we double check and make sure that you and I are on the same page?
We can do
I
that.
wanna say it was asphalt on that original, but I'm
Oh, hey, I'm perfect with everything you say. I just wanna make sure that 26. Okay, I wanna make sure you have 26 because these may have been projects, I think these are projects that I have been asked to put on here by jurors.
Okay,
See, on Wright's Landing, see,
well, if we need to add 26, we definitely need to amend it.
so when you say reclaim rock and oil sand, so you gonna grind the road up?
So these weren't on the original?
Well,
I
I'm gonna
think
change
they
the
were.
I
method.
thought they were too.
We'll check
Change
it.
it.
I'll check it.
Now, it's gonna be those spots we gotta grind up, but you're not gonna grind the whole road up, so it would be grinding in part. And
Well,
then
we-
asphalt.
We'll only account for what we actually spend.
Right. Cause I'm looking at it here, Bobby, on the total price of it at 140, it was figured for asphalt. At 140, wouldn't you think?
Well, asphalt and oil sand is about the same price. I mean, one's
Yeah.
Not if we
Fine.
mixing it.
These prices on here for oil sand are
Oh,
bulk
gotcha.
oil sand prices.
They was bought. Okay, I got
We're not
This
producing
amendment.
anything yet, so we don't have a cost.
you.
You
Want
can
a
still
minute,
get it.
Paul?
You still are able to get
Yeah,
it
well,
also.
let me look, see,
Right.
just change from all stuff, from oil sand to asphalt, I don't think I'd worry about that. If we were adding or subtracting the road, I would want to amend it.
But,
We're not adding or subtracting, so we just.
okay,
We
so
wrong.
let me make a statement. Bill, can we please check 26 to see? Because,
I'll check 26, if there's a change, then I'll put it on the agenda to be amended.
okay, because I think that 26, and I could be wrong. I think you're not gonna have 26 on here, a lot of these. I think these are some that certain jurors have asked me, they put this on here in case we have submissions. So I put it on here just to keep it on here. But you all have decided that we're not taking any new roads, right?
Not
That
me.
was,
Get
what I
some
that was
ready
our
to go.
recommendation.
Yeah.
So can we please check against your list for 26?
Sure.
And then we'll figure out what.
We gotta do that now?
No,
Okay.
I have a question though. These prices are for the oil sand that you buy now.
Yes.
Okay, once we get the pug mill running, this price is gonna be cheaper because
Yes.
we're gonna have all
Oh,
this
yeah.
stuff. Okay.
It'll be
And-
probably.
Another
almost a third.
question is, like, say, just this first one, Lee's Lane, you have $61,000 for rock. They don't have rock on it now?
We have put rock on it this
But-
past year.
Does that rock mean re-rocking the road or the rock that's gonna go into the oil sand?
We
It
rock.
seems like a lot of rock.
Rocking the road. Yeah. These estimates on here are healthy estimates. This is just kind of a number to play with. A lot of times,
Yep.
it's nice to have a little cushion on it.
And then also, when you say rock, the whole road's not
The
getting
whole road's
rock.
not-
it's
not
just
getting-
sections.
not gonna-
Just say, for instance, Big End Ranch Road, y'all put tons of rock on it.
Yep.
And you're gonna oil sand it.
Yep.
Where would you, I mean, you might need some rock in
You
some
might need to
places.
get-
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And
We're
not doubting what you're saying, just asking a question.
What's on here is just an estimate for the job. When we do the work, this was put on here 3 years ago.
Okay.
So when we do the work, we're gonna have a cost we're gonna have an actual cost
Yeah.
of the project on here.
Okay.
Bruce, you know that road, it floods on each end and in the middle,
Where at?
East Lane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Jerry wants me to put covers and
I'll be a
build it up.
long meeting.
He gonna pay for the dirt?
No, or the cover.
That's all this in it.
Yep.
There's 18. It's 22.
Let me see. Just gonna move.
Can we bring this up in this, Right
There's
now?
up there.
Yeah, let's see what he's looking.
26. Okay,
Bridges.
Bridges Road,
Union, Caribbean. That's the one we got.
Can we change that list
yeah, you can-
at what time?
whenever you want to amend it.
We got to amend it. That's what we just talking about.
All right,
If you make any changes.
Okay, good.
amend it.
So we're good.
I can see one, I can see an amendment. I need to
Yes, sir,
make.
this is Randy Bird. I have a voicemail from you.
All right,
And I'll give it to Bob and see what we do.
Yes, sir.
so when
No fault.
we can change this next month?
Yeah, we can change anything we want to.
Get with Bobby.
Instead of turbines.
I'm sorry?
Okay,
He needs to get with you on,
Yeah.
on
I'll get with him.
a road, and we'll get it together. Next month's meeting, we'll kind of, whatever amendments we gotta do to this list, it gives us a month to do it, we'll do
Email
it
me one and I'll.
We'll do it this month,
next
Next
month,
month.
next month.
Now, so I know we have road numbers on here.
Sir.
Everybody okay if I just put road numbers in order? Because we kind of do them as they come about.
Waterworks, one.
I just put numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go on down to the end. We don't need to check. We have road numbers. Remember, we're supposed to do these in order.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
y'all okay that I just add these as they are?
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody knows
Belmont
what to do.
Waterworks is all one word.
we have, do them in order, but if one road is not ready,
It
we can
makes
go to
sense.
the next road. True?
For example,
All right.
No.
We did the roads if they're in the same area to keep from having that cost of moving the equipment and losing the time, but you're supposed to do them in the order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
let me give you an example right now. So on this list for 24, Little Flock is road number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, road number 6. But that's the only asphalt road on here. So we might not have a plug mill till mid-year. We may not have an active plug mill till
December.
August, September. So
You need to
it would not
move
make
your
sense.
flock up.
So it would not make sense for me to wait till we get a plug mill and do all these other roads when I can do Little Flock today. See what I mean? So we have always done this as it makes sense. And ideally, we'll do the roads in order, but if we have an opportunity to do something else, well, fair enough.
Does you need to swap his list around?
Yeah,
Okay.
All right.
So we'll
So
put
what you
Little
need to
Flock
do
number
is you need to put your asphalt roads first. And just
for this year,
for this year. And then I'm just talking, and I guess what Bill's saying, so say if you got,
I get it.
Haley, Sawmill, Carheen, they all in one area, they need to be close together.
right.
And then come down to your next one, just say if you got Hazel, Dixon, and, Skinner, that's in a location, you put them, but if McManus fits over there with them, it needs to be in a group where they close. You follow me?
Yep.
All right,
That's
That
the
would be
lower
Mr.
the
Bill.
That's what I'm
equipment,
saying.
okay,
that stops all equipment hauling, right?
yeah,
I figure $600 every
Because
time
by-
I load a machine.
because what
That's it.
like Mr. Bill said, by the laws and the standards of this system, they supposed to be prioritized in order.
So I'm gonna resort this by year and by ward. So we'll have all wards together,
Yeah.
That'll work.
and I'll send you a new list
All right,
with Barry's change on there too. 'Cause Barry's got to change.
yeah.
Next month.
And then
With,
we'll amend it next month.
with my changes on Wright's Landing to asphalt. All right, I'm going, okay, is that it, all that?
Mhm.
One other thing, Mr. Bill, do you think in our committee meeting here that we could add operations as an item for next month in case we have some,
Sure could.
other discussion, just business in the shop or something that's going on, in case we have to discuss it, it won't actually have to be. In other words, we could cover multiple things under operations
Right.
instead of it being on the agenda.
Be glad to put it on.
That's all. We don't need a vote for that, eh?
No.
Okay. Any other
I do.
deals?
We got Bobby and Barry here.
Let's
Talk about
rock.
this rock for a minute.
Okay.
None of this is a rock I asked not to use though. I see this rock down there, fluorine, and it seems to be okay. That powder, I don't know where that comes from.
Flex space.
Flex
What you
space.
talking about?
It don't work.
Yeah.
That's the same limestone, and that's just different sizes of it. What you got, 2-inch or 1 by 3?
That 57, if it don't crumble, I think that would be good stuff. I don't know the price of that versus that East Texas rock 2x4, but that would last longer than Texas 2x4. So like where y'all went back there to, what's her name? Bruce?
Yep.
Hard for me to think of that name. That might be the thing to go down through there with. I don't know. But none of those rocks are what I was discussing, that flex base.
57 stone is limestone.
All the white rock up there is limestone. It all comes, and the spec sheet for it is, I gave Bruce the spec sheets for all that rock. All the white rock, the 3 bags of white rock, it all comes from the same quarry, comes from the same, whether we buy it from East Texas or
That's
we buy it from
Arkansas,
Mayfield.
That is not the material
Limestone and
we're
granite.
discussing that we have a problem.
That's what he just said.
It's
But
a different material. It's actually cut round. It's not triangular cut or zigzag like this is. It's kind of a round stone and it just goes away.
Melts.
I don't know what it is.
So I'm just telling you what I know. We went through this last year. The flex base that we get, you have a spec sheet from it, it all comes from the same quarry, it's the same material. The only difference is the flex base, and that's their TCS, 611 or whatever it is it's limestone with fines in it. That's all it is. It's the same material, it just has fines in it. We don't normally tailgate that material on roads because it doesn't tailgate well. Little bit of moisture in it, it comes out and clumps. It doesn't tailgate well. We tailgate clean rock.
Yeah.
So we buy 57 stone, we buy some 1 to 3, we buy some. So all of that is the same rock, it's just different size.
But that flex base just don't seem to be the deal.
We don't normally put flex base on the road unless we're doing, for example, we're up at Rolling Hills now, digging out some spots. And when we fill in, when we dig out a spot, we may dig out a base failure in the road, we may go 2 feet deep. And we'll fill that back in and we'll put flex base because it has some fines, it has the ability to compact. If we fill that up with 57 stone, would it compact? Would it compact if we filled it with clean rock?
It'll hold.
But-
Because
but
I say the
it's
flex,
gonna be unstable. If we
what I
put-
say is the flex base melts out of there.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I don't agree that it melts because it doesn't melt, but it disappears because it's fines. It's real
Where'd
small
it go
pieces.
though?
It sinks
It's in
down
the
the road.
base.
But we don't normally put, base material. We don't put flex base or anything with fines in it. I have a different opinion about it. If we were to come on a road and build it like we did, like they do some well sites, and we were to put 6-8 inches of flex base or 610 base or any kind of something with fines on it, that'd be awesome. If we could do that on any road, if we could go out to Zachary Taylor and go from the highway down past Dean Lambert's house and put 6 inches of whatever on the flex base or anything with fines in it, we'd have a well-built road and it'd hold forever. But we don't have the ability, we don't have the funds.
Shady Hill Road, I think y'all said y'all put 6 inches.
We didn't. And we didn't put that rock and we didn't choose that rock. And that was a different rock. That was like a shale rock.
That was before this rain.
That was a pipeline to put that rock down.
It's gone. You can't find none of it. I get you couldn't find a 5-gallon bucket full of this
I'm
stuff.
telling you, that was not at Parish expense. You talking about the rock that was put back when the oil.
A month
The oil was
ago. A month
building?
ago.
Okay, then that we're not talking about the same thing. Okay.
That was that powder stuff, and that it come those 3 days of rain or whatever.
Well, it had fines
And
in it, and I'm sure it
and
washed
it
off.
disappeared.
Yeah.
But when y'all put this or that, whatever it was, it stays.
Right, what you're using on Bluegill and Wanda Acres is none of these rocks. So what are we using?
I don't know. This is the rock we buy. We buy this or we buy.
Well,
Yeah,
they're flying in,
black
they
rock?
flying
Or
in
we-
rock.
or
No,
we
it's a
buy-
white rock, but it goes away. It doesn't work. And that's why everybody got that reds about it. It doesn't work.
The only
And I
rock we
wanna
put
know
out
what
is
kind of
67 stone.
Input do we have about what materials are used on the roads?
I
If we
know
don't
what
have
kind of-
none, then I'm gonna quit taking calls from all my constituents who got to ask.
So if you
I
go
don't know
put-
what kind of material y'all using.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't know what this is, but it's none of
Put in at
these.
least 4 inches, there it ain't gonna hold.
What's that?
Flex base,
Oh, flex base, yeah, you got to have
you
something.
got to
The only,
put it
the only
4
way,
inches.
it's not flex base we put on the road. Nobody's still getting flex base. Now Shady Hill, Matt might have got a little spot on there that he dug it out cold or something or added something to it.
They done from the oil, where the oil sand stopped all the way to where they run back down there by the church.
We'll ride down and look at it. And I'll ride with you, and look at Bluegill. It won't make.
But it was none of
I would
this.
bet.
Well, it's
It was
used
none
all
of
over,
this.
it's used all over our districts. I mean, it's not just those roads, it's
If
just
we
I
put
happen
it
to ride
down,
on
then
those
it's
every day.
57 stone. The problem is, so when we go on the
No, I
road,
disagree with you, Bobby. That is not true.
and we'll ride over here and look at it.
This stuff is cut round and that's why it doesn't stack. This stuff is cut different. So I'm telling you, I don't know where it's coming from. We're using
Using
it.
gravel, it ain't just regular
No,
water.
it's
No.
white stuff. It's not
It's
washed
white
out.
stuff. It powders out and it's gone. And we put 15, 20 loads on that road every year, I'm sure, and there's no rock on it. because
On the
it just
road.
Goes
So,
away.
so again, these are our choices of material to use. A lot of roads, Wanda Acres, Laura Lane, those are, I'd like to put that 2-inch rock on that road, let it
Sure.
compact. But you know what? The minute we do it, we're blown up.
People, yeah. I
We're blown
agree.
up by people because they got a funky
How
rock.
much difference is it in the price of this rock versus that bag or that bag?
They're all about, the rock itself's about the same cost, but it's the hauling of the rock. It's a transport, right? How many loads a day you're gonna get? Mind you, we've got one dump truck.
You gotta get that into Ritter, right?
We get it down Leesville. We get it down.
Leesville.
Yep.
And you get this in Natchitoches or Mansfield.
Actual Mansfield, yep. Mansfield is, it's.
This don't dust as bad as that. And you know, the people would just say Zachary Taylor Road by the high school. those $500,000 homes, and they turn white with that. But it's none of that. It's the powder stuff.
It's all, that's all we buy. That's all, that's.
This is
brought y'all
kinda what I
samples
wanted
of
to
the
put
rock
on
that we buy. That's the only rock that we buy. Now, other than black rock and wash gravel, but we've already discussed that. I'm just wondering.
How much cheaper is black rock than this?
Loads cheaper.
Hmm?
Loads cheaper. So black rock is gone in a month after.
Yeah, yeah. I'd
Black
say
rock's
go
got its
try that.
uses. I mean,
It
I
does.
realize it's temporary and it's,
Yeah.
but we have its uses because it keeps people getting in and out. I agree with that.
So the stuff you get for APEC is got fines in it. It's not clean rock.
Flex base. I didn't bring in flex base because we normally use flex base when we have a base failure. Not even setting culverts because we don't put that, that's expensive rock. We don't put it in driveway. We put black rock in driveway when we set a culvert. But, we don't normally put flex base on a road. We don't tailgate it on a road.
But one thing about flex base, if you're gonna put it, you just can't scatter a little bit out there.
You gotta put it-
You gotta put it thick
Yeah.
like this. You gotta put it down.
It's a base.
It's a base. That's what it is. It's flex base and it's got that, it's probably that 2 inch we probably use up there. And it's got the fines in it and it locks in, I'm telling you. And it's a little dusty. It might be what y'all talking about. It's a little dusty.
So when it says.
But when it's set, you'll burn a blade off a grader trying to get it. It ain't gonna move. It's locked in. Rainy weather,
Which rock is that you talking about?
that limestone flex base is what we use. I drive a school bus down Lakeshore Drive every day, twice a day. Rain, sleet, snow, it don't matter. That road's still there.
Fair enough. Keep in mind, we're
But
talking,
that's my opinion.
we're talking
I know.
apples and oranges because you've got a very healthy rock budget. You've got a very healthy budget, unlike 2 and 3.
In
In
the 12 years that I've been there,
You've used
we
it
built our
consistently.
bases up. That's
Yeah.
12 years ago, we didn't have no base.
And I think that's what we get to a lot. Like when you and I rode the other day, we went down, Fish Fire Tower, we went up.
What rock was on them roads that was white back there we were riding?
57 stone, clean rock, just 67 stone.
But it didn't look like that.
Well, because
It turned to powder.
I mean, I know you said that, and I disagree with that. I think what it does is it's a muddy road that's been a muddy road that was soaking wet and got a bunch of rain, and it's just compressed. We talked about, let's get a shovel and get out there and dig it. And neither one of us want to do that at the time.
Oh, I didn't say let's. You got that wrong. I said, get you a shovel and get out there and find it.
But it's not gone. We just have, it's,
When it dried, where'd it go?
It's buried up.
It's in the base.
we're gonna ride out there and get a shovel.
It's in the base.
And I'm gonna dig you a hole.
You can take your track hoe out there and dig that road up and that limestone flex base is in it. It's in the
See that gray
base.
rock
The
right
road-
there?
the road-
Everywhere you put that, it stays and you ride it.
That's
Everywhere you put
That's
it.
easy to say because we just started putting it out. We just started using that 6-8 months ago.
The Middle Creek
So-
Road has this. And remember, there was a couple of spots, well, it was raining when we went. There was a couple of spots that the red clay come through it. And that's probably where they
And it had been
tailgated
put out a week
light.
before. It's
Huh?
been put out a week before.
No, it's been there since before I come in.
Some of it had because the pipeline put it.
Yeah. But it's still there. And then we got over there on them other roads with something, I don't know what it was. But that's where it was.
Yeah, we got
the
down
bad
past
road.
Scotty Car Lines and all that where all the timber's been cut. Every 18 wheel in the world, you know that. Everybody in the world.
No, I know.
It's not the same traffic either, So those roads get a lot more heavy haulers. Get a lot of material. As soon as we put it out, you get a logging crew in there, and it's compressed.
Speaking of that, Shady Hill Road, Bison put the oil sand down there years ago. I can't even think his name now. Alton Lewin, got all them chicken farms, 24, 26. All them log trucks come around that way. That oil sand stayed, I guess, 10 years until they milled it up. That stuff, somebody in Barry's meeting the other night said that's a short-term fix. That's not true.
Mm-mm.
All them chicken trucks, I mean, it was all constant, and log trucks too. And you might have a little weak spot somewhere, very seldom.
But that road too, we got good base, got iron ore base.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in what's in that base.
So to back up, y'all tell me, these are the rocks that we buy. we buy lime, that's what's bid, we buy limestone, we buy glauconite black rock from Big Four. We buy wash gravel from Grayson, which black rock, we all know what that is. Grayson's most of the time unavailable to provide material. So other than that, we buy limestone. And we now buy, we didn't bid it, but we will bid it this year. We buy that Madden rock. We buy that Novaculite from Madden. I call it granite.
Well, it is volcanic, whatever, and it turns into limestone and granite. That's what that report said. I read that to you. I actually called them. Were you in the truck?
Well, whatever we got bidded out for that material is what we use and what we've used
For
for
years.
years.
I put the first,
What you doing
The
ain't
50
working.
cent- the fit. I'm happy with mine. How many calls a month I get?
Okay. What we're doing is not working.
You don't have
In our
a base.
district.
you got a base.
You don't have a base.
We don't have a base on those roads. We don't have
You don't have a
money
base.
to build
I know,
those
I've been
roads.
there, I've been there, Barry, I know.
So when we get on the road and we tailgate rock, when we go out by Richard Bruce's house and we tailgate rock out there, it looks real good today. The first, it's a barely an inch of material on that road. We don't have the time, we don't have the trucks, the money, the time to put 6 inches of rock on.
What's that road that the Lee boy lives on down there?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Do y'all put some of that on there when we was down there working?
Yeah,
And it held up. And then when it rained,
it compressed because we tailgate, we don't, if we were to put 4 or 6 inches of rock on that road, it'd held up just fine. But we don't have that. You don't have the money. We don't have the money to do that on that. And it's just the same, you know.
you say compress, what do you mean by that? It don't shrink down and spread
I'm
out.
saying it pushes down in the mud. It pushes down in that dirt road. What other than 2 pieces of rock on top of each other, what's holding it from that mud? If we had 6 inches of depth, just like they might build a well side or they might build a pad on,
That road's been there long enough to be hard.
that down where Jared lives, you're talking about. And when I came in Ward, Bill 5 years ago, what kind of money did Ward 1 have?
Dead.
I mean, it was that fun.
I'm not going,
But,
I'm
no,
not arguing the point, but my thoughts are that when it gets wet, it just crumbles. And that's what's
I
happening.
don't agree with
That's
that.
a lot of what's happening on berries.
And I don't agree with that. I don't agree that it disappears. I believe it's in the road. I believe we're putting one layer of rock on top of muddy roads, on top of roads that don't have much on them. And when traffic runs over, just like we were driving the other day, and we can see the lane of travel where the tires are, it's mud. In the middle, the rock's still there. Traffic has compressed that rock. It's there. It's just compressed.
If you could make the sacrifice to go to a bigger rock in your
Yeah.
base,
Then you'd have to
And
buy
then-
everybody a tire.
and then you have to come back with something over it. I mean, but that's,
This is kind of what I like, though. I think it holds up. It's got way less dust.
And we don't have any problem with that rock. But again, let's talk about it in this room. We used that for a while. When the pipeline was here a few years ago, they put a lot of that out. What did we get? How did our flat tire request? We dealt with that. So we shied away from this table shied away from it. We don't use that. So
Most people.
so I'm
How
just
many
trying to
flat
say
tires
y'all,
you have a month?
Hmm?
How many of your people have flat tires?
They don't do no good to car.
That's what I say.
but we did experience that.
Buy
correct?
good tires. Hey, Guffeyland one time was going on about having flats. They getting 8 flat tires. We told them go to 10s. They quit
That's
having
what we
trouble.
needed,
If
that
they buy the right
operations.
tire, they won't have trouble.
all right, fellas. Anything else? We need to go ahead and adjourn.
I make a
Bill
motion.
gonna add transportation, operation to our deal. Bird, got a motion to adjourn. Mr. Bird, second by Mr. Bruce. All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion carried.
Turn it off.